Let's start.
Thanks. This is another episode of Sort of Mindsets Podcast. Today we have Alyona Mysko. She is the CEO and founder of FuelFinance, a company that provides products and services in the financial side. So, if I'm not mistaken, it's sort of like it helps others, small businesses and startups as well, manage their P&L, which is the profit and losses, and really doing all the spreadsheet work that a traditional CFO may have to do, or an accountant or anyone in the finance department. So I'm sure that solves a lot of needs for people who are not, accustomed to managing books or revenue or knowing how to raise money and things like that. So, and the special part about them is that they're from Ukraine and that they have, business in Ukraine. So I'm happy to have you here and super honored.
Thank you. Then nice to meet you too.
How's it going over there? I guess just want to, make sure everything's not as
Everything is okay.
yeah.
Everything is like I think for me better than for some other Ukrainians. So yeah, but I think that's okay.
If there's just wondering, like, if there's something people can do, like, what do you think the best way is to help out, or I mean, like offer some sort of care if they're thinking about that.
So how other people can help? Do you mean Ukraine now? Yes.
Yeah.
We have several ways how everyone can help Ukraine. First of all, it's like from the start of the war, we have the link with the nation to National Bank of Ukraine, who spend this money on the military forces in Ukraine. It's like the first, yes, and most obvious, I think, way. But also, I believe that everyone, like all over the world, every person can help Ukraine buying Ukrainian products. We have our friends create the platform with all Ukrainian companies. It's spendwithukraine.com, and I think that everyone buying some of these products can help and support also Ukraine today. So, for example, you can know many different startups and companies, and maybe someone don't know that this company is a Ukrainian. I don't know, like PetCube, Dressix, People AI, and many others. So I believe that simply using Ukrainian products, it is also support for us.
For sure, yeah, and love to get to know you and the company a little bit better. Just can you, I guess, introduce the company and
yeah,
FuelFinance is the name. But,
what is a FuelFinance?
Yeah.
Yeah, so FuelFinance is really like cloud-based financial department for startups. So we really take all headache from founders, starting from accounting, financial planning, plan fact analysis, and everything else. And yes, we have Ukrainian team, which is based like here in Ukraine. And also like what we do, we make easier financial management for every founder and for executive teams. So I believe that it's something complicated, and sometimes finance like seems to be very outdated, very old, like non-glamorous and everything else. So that's why founders don't like to managing their finance. So that's why we like created Fuel to change that, and we want to make it very easy, fast, and with all insights for founders, and without this manual don't interest work.
Right, I saw that you guys were on Product Hunt. That's pretty cool, by the way, and congrats for that.
Yeah.
So let's say like I'm a founder of a series. If I raise a seed round, and how does this compare to, I guess, me making my own financial models or managing it through like Stripe, right, or like something like that? Is there in between?
Yeah, when you start like when you start a business, especially, for example, you raise seed, first of all, even before raising seed, you need to prepare, first of all, your like financial reports and P&L statements, profit and loss statements, which it's usually asked by different investors. And it's like the first step. And sometimes also investors ask financial plan. So like it's the first step when you start to understand that you need like your financial part. But also after that, when you already raised money, so you need to understand how to spend this money efficiently. So when we talk about it, you can spend like $100,000, for example, on one project and one activity or another, and result from this like two projects, they will be completely different. And without financial planning and understanding what spending will be more efficient, you can simply spend money without results. So when you have like data or information, how to track it, analyze, make plan fact analysis, you can make like decisions how to grow faster, how to receive more results with the same amount of money.
I see. Just Alyona, where did you get the idea to make this type of software and company? Just did you experience this like as you had the problem of not being able to, or you talked to people and they had that same problem, or?
Yeah, I'm simply like have been working as financial analyst for more than 9 years. So I completely understand this problem of managing finance, because I was managing finance for startups mainly. And I see the problems that startups, they can't, first of all, hire CFO inside their team because CFO is very expensive. Mainly, they sometimes use, for example, CFO with payment for hours, but it's really also expensive, not efficient usually. And on the other hand, they, in order to manage finance, they simply use QuickBooks and sometimes use different XLS docs for different planning and everything else.
Yeah.
And like they can't use like ERPs and NetSuite and others. And when I saw this problem, so we started to create with our team in managing finance for different startups. We started to create our proto ERP system based on Google Spreadsheets. And step by step, we decided to automate it more and more. And it's how we created this idea of digital like financial department software, because we like take the practice of more than 200 different businesses. Mm-hmm. We understand what should be done for whom and how we can automate it. And this is how we decided to make Fuel and what we do now.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's very fascinating. Like what when did you I guess like what made you really want to create the company? Just since I feel like, you know, there's ways around this, like maybe someone can get like a contractor, or, I don't know, like see like another option, like so the company, does it do this automatically through the software, or like
managing their finance?
Yeah.
Do you mean like how we work usually with startups?
Right. Like if somebody wants to be a customer, do they have like, what do they just, how does that work? Do they give you their numbers?
Yeah. So we have like, that's why we have support success financial managers. So they simply, first of all, we make a call with the client and we take all information, all data sources from the client. And after that, we connect all these data sources to our software on our site. And already client receive like the system and results in the end of the first month. So it's not his problem after she start work with us. It completely already not the problem they have. So we take all information, all data, and after that, in the end already of the first month, they receive like all reports, financial planning, and all the next months, like client has weekly or monthly calls with financial managers. they simply have this system and in their cabinet. So they see all figures results there, but also they have this support from financial managers and calls to discuss everything, like every question that founder has according to finance.
Nice. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So good to hear that.
Yeah.
And then is it a monthly based subscription? So somebody pays like 1,000 a month or something, and depending geography
monthly.
cost.
Yeah, monthly based subscription. So yeah, but the prices start like from $1,000 per month, but it's monthly subscription usually with our clients.
Gotcha. Is this I guess like is this how do you plan to like expand the company and the product? Just like what does the future look like for you guys in terms of what you guys are trying to do?
Future looks like, so I see this huge market with different ad hoc solutions with hired financial managers sometimes. And but usually art is like QuickBooks and sometimes it's funded by founders and different Excel docs. So we want to change this sphere completely. So we understand that it should be like, okay, I want to start my startup and like my financial part will be managed completely, I don't know, by FuelFinance. And I don't care about anything. So I give them my data, all sources, and I receive this result. And I think it's something that every founder needs because founders, like, they don't start usually startups to manage their finance. They want completely to delegate it to someone else. Yes, and that's why we believe that we can do it. And what will be in our next like priorities, we will automate more and more this work of financial managers, because I really believe that CFOs and financial managers, they should spend time only on some strategic questions for clients, not for like manual work.
Right. Yeah. And that manual work would be like making a financial model, right? Or like, could that be trying to prepare a report where, you have to look into very like concrete numbers in, Excel, putting formulas. And I've looked at a couple of financial models too. They're kind of complicated to understand since you're trying to add up, right? Where what is equal loss, and there's also
and what was your impression from these financial models?
I would make some, but they were very like time consuming,
yeah.
Or I know startups, they would send me some, and it just had so much numbers, and like sometimes you don't know the name of like what is amortization, or like even something more complicated than that, and you're trying to figure out like. But I think what's important
is it?
I think it's just like the what do you call that, it's like depreciation, but like for an intangible asset, right, or something like that.
Yeah, intangible assets, but sometimes I even don't understand. So, for example, when we talk about seed startups or pre-seed startups, so they simply, not all startups need these financial models and as complicated as they try to do it. So, as I saw from communication between startups and investors, there is usually no need to create such complicated financial model with all these details on the first stage. But sometimes it's very strange when startups try to do it. I think it's not the first priority on a very early stage.
Yeah,
but it's priority when you already receive the money.
I guess like, how do you guys what do you guys use FuelFinance for your company? Like FuelFinance, like how does FuelFinance? Can you tell me about that? Like how does that work?
It's a very interesting part because we are very data-driven company inside, and I really we have our dashboard, and it's like the dashboard in very detailed level, like with very many details, and I track it on weekly basis. So we have like I think 40 graphs which is tracked on weekly basis, but from them, like 15 are the most important. And what I compare there, so we have plan fact analysis on weekly basis in leads, in number of agreements, in pipeline growth, in conversion rates, in number of revenue, in contracts, in cash flow, inflow, outflow, balances control, number of clients, retention rates, churn rates, cost of acquisition, lifetime values, and everything we track really on weekly basis and in plan and fact analysis. And we also have like the plan till the end of the month. And every week we understand if we are going in that way to complete our goals till the end of the month. So it's really not usual for all startups, but I should say that for me, it's very easy way to manage the whole businesses because every like executive team member, they have their dashboards and they have their metrics for which they are responsible. And when we want, for example, test some ideas, like usually you do in your startup, so you simply test many different approaches all time. We like track results of these approaches. So when we make some marketing approach, we track number of leads, conversion rates, number of sales qualified leads, and everything else. And these dashboards, they help us to understand what approach was okay, was not okay, and make decisions faster, what we should change every week.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's great. I mean, just knowing that it can also go into forecasting is good to know. So do people themselves like let's say I had a couple customers with revenue and there's of course cash capital in the bank. Does FuelFinance do that through the software, or do people like look at the numbers and try to best inform you on where to put the money towards, since it can be tricky?
Everything like is made with the software, so people simply track the figures. So planning is made automatically, and also effect like actual information also made automatically. So what is usually on site of team members understand and analyze these figures, so understand, okay, what projects were done, what's our decisions had like an impact on these figures. And it's like the part that usually people in startups team do, but they do it like in more data-driven way.
Gotcha. How's the business going right now? Just wondering, with your own customers and trying to grow it at the same time. Just how's the feedback been from them, and
Yeah. How we do? So we still grow. So we after product hunt, we received many leads now, and we already signed first contracts, first agreements like with our clients, and started to work with them, and everything like gonna be okay, I believe. So yeah, we had like complicated first weeks during the war, so we need to relocate our team and everything else, but now like we have more stable situation, so everyone like working, I think, even harder than it was before the war.
Wow, that's so impressive. I mean, really, clap it up for you. Just want to,
Thank you.
this me being in America and seeing like the whole Russia attack in Ukraine and all the violence, that's really disheartening. When as a CEO of a company, like what were you thinking when, I guess, what are you thinking now and during the time? Because like, people's lives are in danger, and there's a lot of extra stress, I'm sure. And did you have any changes in strategy for the company, and like how did you manage that?
Yeah, it's for sure it's a stress, and for sure it was other and everything else. So sometimes it was complicated to communicate with team members, because when Some of them were not like in the way they were easy to leave their cities. So, and that's why we have many different calls to discuss why you should leave the city, why you should relocate, because it's important. And of course, it was stressful. But after like first 2 weeks, I think already on the second week, we all started to work. So we started to work from bomb shelters, and it was
Oh
like
my God,
already.
really? Bomb
Yeah.
shelter? Holy shit.
Thanks God we have Wi-Fi in bomb shelters.
My gosh, you guys are a different level of tough. So I don't
Yeah.
even have words for that.
Yeah, even our product hunt was also launched from bomb shelters. So
Wow. How do you keep motivated, or like what makes you able to push through these physically demanding, stressful? Do you
yeah,
think you just find that you love what you do and you have no choice, or this puts food
yeah,
on the
like
table? Like, how's it? What gets the whole team to do this?
first of all, we really have a very strong mission inside our company. So we believe that what we do, we want to help startups and businesses avoid financial mistakes that could not have happened. And we believe that with efficient financial management, we even can make impact on GDP growth. And that's why we have this very strong mission, and we understand that we should work, especially now for Ukrainian economy. And now, like many different startups who can work in Ukraine, they do it and do it even harder than before, because we understand we have no many businesses in Ukraine who can still work. So we can pay salaries, we can grow. And it's like our mission now in this situation. And of course, like we understand that we are responsible for our clients, and we responsible to deliver the results that we like ourselves. So that's why we do everything to do it. And of course, like we have many plans, and we like had a strategic session 1 week before this war, and it was like also very funny situation, because when we made the strategic session, and we made it in co-working with the name Victory, and it was very like strange situation, Ukrainian co-working, and we already had many wars with Russia in our history before, and this co-working is like about Ukraine, and we were sitting in the room where making the strategic session, where was already like photos and everything connected with previous wars between Russia and Ukraine. And that's why it was like very strange for us. But now we understand, okay, we should make the strategy real, because we have no choice now, and we should be productive. So everyone like trying now in our team to volunteer, help military forces, and
Wow.
work. So everything in the same time.
This is my co-host Earl. He also has a
Hey,
startup,
yeah.
so it's in finance
How
too.
are
So.
you? Yeah, definitely.
Hey.
How are you? How are you? I'm also a fintech founder, so have a high respect. I mean, my question for you is, as founders, we plan for all risks, right? But then, as you
Yeah.
mentioned, there's even geopolitical risks that you have to deal with. Like, how do you even factor that in as a founder? Because you think about competition, team, funding, right? Like all these things that just like stresses everyone out. But you have this other one with geopolitical risk. How do you even like factor
Yeah.
that in as a founder? I mean, that's really amazing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not easy because we like planned and as a founder we always think about different risks, but we also like prepared for this risk 1 month before. So we started to make different plans, what will be with team, with our work, with contingency and everything else. So now managing political risks. So now already after, I think after 3 weeks, we started to understand how to manage it. So first really weeks, I was shocked. So you couldn't understand what you should do, and it's very intuitive way in making decisions in order to save business, save people, and help the country. But already after the third week, you start to be very, I couldn't explain, okay with the situation. Yes, so already you understand after the third week what is going on. You have new skills to understand what you should do during AIDS, what you should do when you see like different bombs, what you should do like to help your team members, and you already understand the way of the support your team need now, and so you already have these new skills after the third week, and it's not started to be something strange to manage the business already during the war. So now, for example, we like understand what is going on. We understand that okay, like main part of the team should be in Western Ukraine. Here is more safe place. Everyone is already has their own like management of the time. When they read news, time for read news, time to volunteer, time to work. So it's like I think now already is more controlled way of managing business.
Yeah, Alyona, I think Alyona, sorry, I keep messing up. I just want to say, like, you know, I guess in business history, we learned that crises have a power to unite people, and I can definitely tell that that's you and your team, the whole country, exactly like they're united to survive. Not even as a business, but as a human being, right? Just
Yeah.
that's pretty intense. Do you think that the whole situation has, I don't want to say like helped you become, I guess, more, help you run your business with more like leadership, I guess, just having has
Yeah,
that improved, you know, everyone's management?
leadership.
Because
Yeah,
right.
leadership for sure. But you know, like now I think that okay, we already had COVID, and
Oh shit,
it
we did have
was
that.
like
That was crazy too.
after the start of the so it's already the second crisis. Yeah, this is one is like couldn't be it's not complete in that way and as COVID, and it's much harder,
Right.
but with COVID we were prepared already somehow, so we like understand what can be like with revenue and financial parts. So it is like already we had some experience, not in that way, because usually like when it was COVID, you should stay home. When you have the war, you shouldn't stay at home. So it's like
Oh
completely
my God.
different way. So
Yeah.
that's why it's another way of management. But yeah, leadership, of course, and it's always like it was a complicated question when you're like business, when you do business and you entrepreneur and a CEO, and when you like now should be friends and family for all your team members. So it's you always need to be something between, and you couldn't be like in the one or in other role, but you should be like something between it. And it was really some new type of leadership, not an usual way of managing the business.
That's so
Yeah, can
fascinating.
you describe that leadership to us? Like, if you had to kind of think about, like, how do you lead, during this time? Like, what are the things, I guess, is different compared to leading in non-crisis time, right? Especially in a startup, right? Because in a startup, you kind of want to shield your people from crisis, right? As a founder, but then this
Yeah.
one, it's not, you can't shield them. So how do you lead your people, right? Like, how do you make them feel safe to focus on the business more than anything else, right?
Yeah, we have it's a good question. We have many one-to-one meetings now, and every manager. So we have like we have this Google spreadsheet with details who in our team what manager is responsible for what for which team members, and types of communication with them. So we always updated the spreadsheet with information: where is person now? Is this person has enough money, safety, and what is the situation with the family? So, and we always updated it. When it was like the start of the war, we updated this our Google Sheet completely one time per several days. Now we simply update it like one time per several weeks. And of course, what is really new that people, they started to be exhausted. So
Yeah.
you couldn't like work 40 days, 50 days without weekend, without time to relax. And
Right.
we
Yeah.
also understand that now teams start to be exhausted, and we communicate it. And I'm happy that we have a good atmosphere inside our startup, and we can talk about it and discuss it. And yeah, for example, today I had this call with our product manager because he's also a little bit exhausted, and we had a talk that, okay, maybe you should have some day off because you need to manage your team, you need to be like in resource. And it's okay to communicate in very human way now. And it's like something where the situation where team members, they need this support, and they need to understand that they are not simply now like only team members. Yeah, they are also people, and they're also Ukrainian. So and you need like to communicate in all their roles to help them like manage with it.
Hero, you want to ask one more question?
Yeah. Maybe my last question here is, what prepared you, right? Like, what type of preparation you had? I mean, maybe growing up or anything to handle this leadership style, right? Any kind of story that you can share with us that kind of at least mentally or emotionally prepared you for leading during this time.
Yeah, I should say that we already have war in Ukraine since 2014, and when this war started in Ukraine, in eastern Ukraine, so it was only my start of my career, and already so I was always participated in all such initiatives inside our country, and always had this proactive position according to Ukraine and everything else. So that's why I think I have grown with it. And when you already had the war since like start of your career, and after that, when like I started the business, it was already the first crisis after the start of the business was COVID. So it was like first lessons. And I think, like being in Ukraine, I always had all these lessons, I think, how to manage with it. And so that's why I think it's, for me, it's like now something obvious, but I understand that not all people in all countries have the same experience with the war that started like from starting of your career.
I see. Yeah. No, that's so interesting. Let me look at something really quick. I just wanted to read it before I asked. So when you guys were featured on CNN, I think we touched upon it briefly, but you're currently doing something where you give Ukrainian business free services or free product, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to just know, like,
We
how has that
made
been?
like several Yeah, we made simply several initiatives from the start of the war. So usually we try to support Ukrainian businesses in all ways that we can. So we are good at financial management. We are good at anti-crisis financial management. So that's why,
Anti-crisis. Right.
yeah,
I was reading how like you.
Anti-crisis.
Sorry, I was reading how you created a company to prevent companies from going bankrupt through finance. So
Yeah,
does that like actually?
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure it
We
actually
made
helps, but how does it actually help? How
we made.
does
I will explain. Yeah, so we made the platform, like financial platform, exactly new from scratch, where we connect financial managers from all over the Ukraine and different CFOs with Ukrainian entrepreneurs. And we connect them, and they make like financial managers make consulting for Ukrainian businesses. And we also provide on this platform all information you need according management, financial management during the war. So everything about legal part, everything about your financial planning, examples of financial planning that you can make, everything about cash flow management during the war. So financial managers and CFOs from Ukraine, they use this stuff, and with this stuff, they help entrepreneurs to manage finance. But we manage them on this platform. So it was like first our initiatives that we made, and we made many consulting already for entrepreneurs through this platform. And another that was done, we made it with Lift 99. It's another company co-working,
right?
co-working for startups, in Ukraine. So we made with them together a platform which help small Ukrainian companies and businesses who changed their business and key product during the war. So, for example, they made beautiful shoes before the war, and during the war, these businesses they make now military boots,
Oh,
and they do it without revenue. And we made this platform where everyone from different countries can donate and help these Ukrainian businesses with their stories, with information, what they do now, what business they had before the war. And it was like second our initiative. And so we like understand that we are good at helping Ukrainian businesses and support Ukrainian economy now. So that's
right,
why we believe that's what we should do.
right. That's seriously amazing. I think we're coming towards the near end of the podcast here, Alyona, but just want to ask what we normally ask people who come onto the show. So the first question is, if you were to give advice to Alyona, a 20-year-old person, or back when you were 20, what do you think you would tell her about, business and entrepreneurship?
First of all, I think that the first recommendation to me, like when I was 20, that you should find your personal way to manage the business and people, and what is written in books is not always a source of truth. This is the first one. And the second one, I think, to use experience of other entrepreneurs and founders, because sometimes when you need to find answer on some questions and you try to do it by yourself, you simply can ask other founders or experienced people for a 30-minute call, and you will get like more information for the
Yeah,
smaller
30 minutes,
period,
right?
shorter period of time than trying to analyze and find some information by yourself. I think these two recommendations for me in 20 would be very efficient.
Makes sense. Yeah. What do you have a book though? Just going off of that, like that you really think inspired you to become a founder in
Yeah,
general?
yeah. I like the book From Good to Great. It's like
Jim
one
Collins.
of
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
favorites. Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
great book. That's a great book.
Yeah. And I like that they like made this all statistics and all figures and different models to analyze all companies. So I like the way they do it, and it's really interesting, like the new way to analyze companies. So I like it a lot.
For sure. I think one thing just popped up, Alona. I wanted to ask, like, what is, me who doesn't know much about Ukraine, what should people know about Ukraine from like a business side or like just in general? Because this whole thing's just new to me and I want
Yeah.
to educate myself for sure.
From business side, I should say that all Ukrainians are really hard workers, and we have very strong IT part and many engineers and developers in our country. So, and that's why we have already many technical startups that were created in Ukraine. And I think, Grammar, Preply, Reface, PeopleEye, PetCube, Delphast. It's
Right.
like many different cool startups which were created by Ukrainians. And I think we also have very strong fashion brands.
Yeah.
So it's, yeah, like, I don't know, Ksenia Schneider, Ruslan Baginsky, and many others. Like, and I think, yeah, it's very interesting that we had like these two combinations in our business, fashion part and technical part and startups. So I
Yeah.
think it's
Great. No,
something
that's good to
you
know.
maybe don't know about.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. I think the last thing I want to ask is if you were to tell us what your sort of mindset is, what would you say it is?
I think that data-driven mindset.
And does that just mean to work with, make actions based off of data and facts, or how does that apply?
Yes, I think I always make a decision based on different data. So it can be I always try to analyze everything, make plans, even when it's impossible to plan something. I think it's better to plan than not to plan.
Right, right.
So that's why I think this way of thinking. So I receive many information and receive make many decisions after analysis. So in analytical way. So that's why I think this my my type of thinking, mainly based on different analytics, on different analysis, and on different data-driven decisions.
Gotcha. I think that's about it for the podcast, Alona. But just want to say thanks again. I mean, it's amazing how you're able to do this, and wishing you
Thank you so much.
safety and health, good health, and everything else in that part of the world.
Yeah,
And
thank
last
you.
last part is
Yeah.
how do people use FuelFinance or support your business? Of course, it's available globally. You have customers in the U.S. and across Europe too.
Yeah, I think the best way to support Fuel and all other companies simply use our products, because part of our revenues we like spend on support military forces here in Ukraine. So I think it's like the best way now to support Ukraine.
And people can find out more at fuelfinance.ua or
Yeah, and on our website, everyone can find all information about us and about how everyone can support Ukraine today.
to use the platform. Do you just need to, is it a checkout, or do you need to like go in through like a beta service, or like how does that work?
about data service.
Or a beta, like a trial service, or like if I want to use FuelFinance, I don't have a company, but like if somebody did, do they just sign up and it's that they pay and
Yeah,
that's how it works?
yeah. They just sign up. They like leave request on demo on our website, and already after this demo, like in first call, so we communicate with all clients and we show what we do, and if we see
Yeah.
we have a match, so
Okay.
like clients start to use our product.
Well, thanks. It's been lovely meeting you, and just can't even
Thank
express
you.
how impressed we are of the company and
Thank you.
yourself and team and
Thank
all
you,
that.
Dan, and thank you, Earl. And thank you
Of
for
course,
your
thank you so much.
support.
Thank you for your time here. Definitely fascinating conversation. Thank you.
Thank you also, guys.